Okay, so I want to have it here so that I can see it here. Thank you so much anyways. So this is a review. Let me draw the triangle. On the triangle, it's a right triangle. So instead of the R, this is R. So that is 16. Instead of the S, across from the S is 30. And T, across from the T is 34. So the one they asked me for sine of R, cosine of R, and tangent of R. So I label the triangle from the angle R. So across from R is the opposite, and then it's hypotenuse. So you have to remember the SOHCAHTOA, S-O-H. So for sine, it's what over what? Opposite over hypotenuse, so that must be 16 over 34. And when you reduce it by 2, it's supposed to be 8 over 17. And that is approximately, in decimal form, is 0.47. Cosine of R. Well, cosine of R is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that must be 30 over 34, and you reduce it all the times to the lowest terms, and that would be 15 out of 17. Put that in the calculator, and that gives you 0.88. Then you get tangent of R, which is opposite over the adjacent. When you reduce it, what did you get? God bless you. What did you get? 8 over 15, and what did you get for the decimal? Who has a decimal form? 0.53. That's right. Okay, so that's from the angle R. What did they ask me for? Sine of S, cosine of S, and tangent of S. Okay, so it's sine of S, cosine of S, and tangent of S. So now I have to label it from the, God bless you, from the line, from the angle S. So this is the opposite and this is the adjacent. The 34 is still the hypotenuse. So sine of S is opposite, which is 30 over 34, and when you reduce it is 15 out of 17. And then that is approximately how much? 15 out of 17. 0.88. 0.88. Then cosine of S, well, cosine is adjacent, which is 16 out of 34, and when you reduce it, that is 8 over 17, and that is approximately 0.47. And the last one, tangent of S, that is opposite, and the opposite was 30 over the adjacent, which is 16, right? And then when you reduce it, that was what? 15 over 8, and that is approximately 1.1. To the hundredths place is 1.88. That is right. Okay. And you do the same thing for problem number 2. So in problem number 2, the answers are, let me call them out. For sine of S is 12 over 13, which is 0.92. Cosine of S is 5 over 13, or 0.38. And tangent of S is 12 over 5, which is 2.4. Sine of R is 5 over 13, which is 0.38. Cosine of R is 12 over 13, which is 0.92. And tangent of R is 5 out of 12. In decimal form is 0.42. Is everybody okay with number 2? Yes, great. Okay, number 3. In problem number 3, for this type of problems, we have to use special right triangles. So special right triangles are the 30, 60, 90 and the 45, 45, 90. So first, you need to make sure you memorize the special right triangles, guys, because you need this for the ACT, SAT, and I don't know about the THEA, but more than likely, you know, some questions would come from the special right triangles. So across from the 30-degree angle is the short leg, which is 1. The hypotenuse is twice the short leg, and the long leg is square root of 3. Yes. So if they want me to find sine, well, sine of 30, that is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So from 30, the opposite is 1, and the hypotenuse is 2. So the fraction is 1 over 2, and that is equal, not approximate, but equal to 0.50. Now, sine of 60. Well, you know what? Let me do number 7 because I already have the triangle label from the 30. So tangent of 30, it's opposite over the adjacent. Number 7, opposite over the adjacent. Now, the opposite was 1. The adjacent, it's a square root of 3. So it's 1 over square root of 3. Can you leave an answer with a radical and denominator? No. What do we do then? You multiply top and bottom by what? In this case, by the square root of 3, because you need to rationalize. So when you rationalize, you get square root of 3 over, what's the square root of 3 times the square root of 3? That is the square root of 9, but square root of 9 is just 3. And that is approximately, what did you get for the square root of 3 divided by 3? 0.58. 0.58. Yes. Okay, so that's from 30. Now let's go ahead and do it from 60, from the 60-degree angle. Well, from the 60-degree angle, let me see if I can. No, I cannot. Okay, I'm going to use a red color. So from the 60-degree angle, this is 60. So across from the 60 would be my opposite side. So from the 60, this is the opposite and this is the adjacent. So when they ask me to get the sine of 60, well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is, what's the opposite? Square root of 3. So this is the opposite of 60. So it's a square root of 3. And what is the hypotenuse? 2. Can I leave the fraction like that? Yes, because the radical is on top, so there's no problem. You can leave it like that. It's only what is in the denominator that you have a problem. You need to rationalize. And that is approximately 0.87, right? And now working with a 60-degree angle, problem number 5. They want cosine of 60. So cosine of 60, well, the adjacent side to 60 is what? Is 1. And the hypotenuse is 2. So that is just 0.5. And now from a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Well, let me first draw the 45, 45, 90. And make sure that you memorize the 45, 45, 90. When you draw the triangle 45, 45, 90, what are the measurements of the legs? Okay, so on the 45, you look at the poster, it's the same, right? So I can use both legs to be 1, and so the hypotenuse would be what? 1 square root of 2 or just a square root of 2. Okay, so if they want me to get tangent of 45, tangent from 45, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent. So opposite over adjacent, that would be what? 1, because it's 1 over 1, which is just 1. And then for number 8, they want cosine of 45. Okay, so cosine of 45, that is adjacent over hypotenuse. What's the adjacent side? From 45, the adjacent would be 1, isn't it? Right? And the hypotenuse? Square root of 2. So it's 1 over square root of 2. Let me get my pencil. 1 over square root of 2. Can I leave the answer like that? No. You need to rationalize, right? So multiply by square root of 2, both sides, top and bottom. So the answer should be square root of 2 over 2. And approximately, so square root of 0.71? Okay, 0.71. 0.71. Okay. So on the test, more than likely, I'm just going to give you, I'm going to ask you for the ratio. And more than likely the ratio would be not 1/2 or 1. More than likely would be something like number 6, 7, or 8. So be ready for that. Okay. So